set up in our seated flow. Make sure all parts of our feet are pressing firmly into our mat. However, we need to shift our seated position to make that happen. Knees are stacked over those ankles. And for now, if we like, we can stay lifted tall. Shoulders relax away from the ears, or we can slowly lean back until those shoulder blades press into the back of the chair. We're just going to take a few centering breaths at our own pace. Inhale, feeling the chest expand for 3 counts, and then exhale. The chest deflates, belly button fills with air. And just know at any point we can return to our centering breath. Check in with ourselves, make sure we're breathing through this new and challenging experience. However we like to plant our hands, we can clasp them, rest them on our thighs. Just make sure it's a relaxing position. Eliminate any tension in our arms, our neck and mouth. We can work the jaw to make sure we aren't clenching those teeth. Actively relax the tongue to the bottom of our mouth. Whenever you're ready, if we haven't stayed seated this whole time, I want us to slowly lift up into a seated tall position. Untuck that chin if we had our neck and our head relaxed. One more inhale and exhale to ourselves. Open those eyes. And make sure the chest is lifted, pelvis is scooped forward. And I just want us to start doing nice little neck circles. Imagine we're drawing a circle on the ceiling or the sky with the crown of that head. Listening to those muscles that run up our neck into the back of our head, and those muscles that connect to the neck through our upper back. Listen to how big of a circle they want to draw right now. Go ahead, finish, and then switch directions. Draw a circle going the other way. Whichever direction we choose, and just pay attention with the neck and the upper back knee. One last inhale, and exhale. Lift that head up, nice and tall in the center, and we're going to begin with shoulder rolls. So up by the ears and then down deep in the sockets. If we want to roll up towards the front and then swoop down towards the back of the chair, whichever we prefer. The hand resting on our lap with the arm rests. One last time. Swoop those shoulders deep in the sockets and then switch directions. So now I'm rolling up towards the back of the chair and then sweeping down towards the front of my body. Keep that breathing the entire time. One last time. Come on up. One time we're allowed to bring the shoulders to the ears and then deepen the sockets. Again, open the eyes if we were enjoying that a little too much. Make sure we plant those feet firmly into the mat. Beginning warming up the shoulders in the lateral plane. We'll inhale up, sweep into full sun. Give me some spirit fingers if you feel like it. Exhale, just go ahead, tap the sides of that chair as we lower. Up, really lifting through the chest and the torso, still squeezing that belly button to the spine like we're bracing for a punch. And again, go at your own pace. If you want to go a little slower or faster, I'm just here to guide you, give you a template for form, set a pace that's optional. We're going to exhale down one more time. This time as we inhale up, we're going to sweep those arms up, full sun as usual, but this time on the exhale, go ahead, drop the right hand, reach over our head with the left. We're going to push that left hip into the seat, hold for an inhale and exhale, and then we'll inhale up, exhale, transition to the other side. Really lift up through that opposite arm. hold for a breath, switch over. Keep that shoulder away from the ear. Reach over with the right to the left side and the left to the right side. Let's do one last time on each side. Hold, big inhale, and exhale. Inhale up into our full sun. And then as we exhale, just lower those hands down to heart center. Press those fingertips into our chest. Go ahead, relax the shoulders deep in the sockets. Really plant those feet firmly into our mat. Once we've caught our breath, we can go ahead and bring those hands, those palms to rest on the tops of our thighs for the modified cat-cow. So in modified cat-cow, we're really focusing on moving the back, oscillating the spine like a wave. So as we inhale, we're going to kind of squeeze the shoulder blades together like we're crushing that pencil. Lift the chest, tip up the head to look up if you'd like. Exhale, tuck the chin, really curve the upper back in on itself. Inhale, lift. Pushing that chest forward. Exhale, curl in on ourselves. Still avoiding keeping the shoulders from creeping up too close to the ears. Spine. Starfish those fingertips on our thighs. One last cat and cow. Meet in a neutral base. Sitting up nice and tall, still squeezing the belly button, the spine, squeezing the glutes so we can scoop the pelvis forward. For our modified or seated forward fold, we have the option to either keep the hands on the thighs, and then as we inhale, lift up, slightly squeeze the shoulder blades, exhale, slowly pitch forward, leading with the crown of the head. Or as we inhale, we can sweep up into our full sun. And then exhale, swan dive, lightly tap the outside of those ankles with our fingertips. Whichever we prefer, just know that we're leading with the top of the head for both the lifting and the lowering. Or rather, we're leading with the top of the head as we lower. And then as we lift, we're rolling up from the base of the spine, up through the shoulder blades, and then through the head. Into the mat. When we practice a regular forward fold, we can remember that this knee bend is normal and actually a progression to a more challenging forward fold. And as we get so preoccupied in having a strong stance in forward fold, we accidentally lock the knees backwards, and that can start rubbing away, damaging our cartilage, our ligaments, the knee joint. Just always remember, have a slight knee bend in our forward fold. Let's sweep down one last time. Lift on up, full sun from wherever we were, and then lower those hands to heart center. One more inhale. Exhale. When we're ready to continue into our yoga flow, go ahead, bring those hands to our side in our mountain pose. We've got the chest lifted, lightly squeezing the shoulder blades. Squeeze the glutes so we can scoop the pelvis forward. Press all parts of the feet into the mat. Palms facing out towards the front. Starfishing the fingertips away from each other. Breath again, find that centering 3-count breath. And then meet in heart center. Press those thumbs firmly into the chest as a reminder to keep that chest lifted. So move into our first series on the right leg. So doing a single leg march As we inhale, we're gonna start by lifting the heel and then the toe, keeping that 90-degree bend in the knee, lifting that leg, and then exhale, touch the ball of the foot, and then the heel. So keep that chest lifted. It's just the leg that we're moving. We're keeping the rest of our body sturdy and strong by squeezing that belly button to the spine, scooping that pelvis forward. And with each breath, if we like, we can lift that knee up just a little bit higher to get more of a stretch to that IT band and the top of the thigh. One last time. Inhale and exhale. Let's go ahead and make sure we firmly planted that right foot again. To transition to our modified warrior one, we're going to kind of swing that right knee out to the side and plant the foot so that the toes line up to be perpendicular with the side of the chair. So once we've got that lined up, I want us to shift our torso to face that right leg. We want to go ahead and scooch our booty so that it's just the right side resting on that chair. And then however far we want to extend that left leg, we can go for a full extension or have more of a bent knee, whichever we prefer. But once we like that modified stance of our legs, go ahead and make sure the hips are square by pushing the left hip forward, right hip back, lift the chest, squeeze the glutes, scoop the pelvis, bring those hands to heart center. We're really focusing on lifting up tall through that chest. Push those fingertips together. We're creating tension through our arms, feeling the points of pressure that we're exerting in all 10 fingertips in the palms. Big inhale, lift that chest just a little bit higher. Exhale. One more breath, big inhale. And exhale. Go ahead, relax away from that heart center. We're gonna pivot back so that the left knee is now pointed out towards, the camera for me, but towards the front of the chair for you guys. And you're gonna scooch your seated position just back a little bit further so we can fully extend that right leg while planting the foot firmly on the mat. And then you'll notice there's a tiny knee bend here in that right knee. That's perfectly fine. So again, make sure our pelvis, our chest is square out towards the front. We got that bend in the left knee. Bring those arms to a T and tip over like a teapot for a modified triangle. So we really should feel this in the inner thigh. We're getting that stretch without fully supporting ourselves in a regular triangle. So that way we can focus on opening the chest, being aware of those arms. Again, spread the fingertips, create those arms in a T. You can look up towards the left fingertips reaching towards the sky, or down at where our right fingertips are touching the inside of that calf. Look down at our lovely pedicure and keep opening the chest. Big inhale and exhale. Take our next breath. I want us to lift up, hold that T just a little bit longer. Come into our heart center. Go ahead, recenter, back in our chair into that starting position. So as we take our next breath, we can lower into our mountain pose. Get recentered, find that breath. With our chest still lifted, relaxing those shoulders all the while, engaging the hands, spread those fingertips. Our knees are stacked over the ankles, squeeze the belly button to the spine. Take one more breath, and then come to heart center, and we're ready to flow on the left side. Chest in neutral alignment, scooping that pelvis forward, hands in heart center, thumbs pushing into the sternum, remembering to keep our chest lifted. We got those feet firmly pressed into the mat, and as we inhale, now on the left side, lift the heel, point the toe. Exhale, touch the ball of the foot down, plant the whole foot. Slow, controlled movements. Our chest, our torso. Hip, the muscles, the top and the outer thigh, doing that work. Keep squeezing that belly button to the spine. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale, lower ball of the foot and toe. We transition into our modified warrior. Toes perpendicular with the line of that chair. Scooch so that it's just the left side of the leg and the glute resting on that chair. Step our right leg back. Heel lifted, come into heart center. Lift the chest, scoop the pelvis forward. Hold, lift that top of the body nice and tall. Elbows wide, pressing our palms together. All 10 fingers pushing against each other. Exhale, big inhale, keep those hips scooped forward, chest lifted, almost there. And exhale. Go ahead, lower on down. The right leg is in the starting position. Ankle under knee. I'm going to scoot back just a little bit so we can fully extend that left leg. Bring the arms to the T, turning the chest, the hips towards the front of the chair, and then tip over into our modified triangle. Keep that right foot firmly pressed into the mat, tiny bend in that knee. Maintain those arms in a T. Look down at our pedicure or up at the sky. Big inhale and exhale. Hold for one more breath. Hold that T as we lift on up. Go ahead, bring the hands to heart center. Shift the left leg back to that base position. Take a few breaths in our mountain pose. Come to the center. Breathe. Whenever we're ready. One last challenge for our flow today. We're just gonna break down chair pose. We're going to begin with our hands in heart center. And instead of having the knees exactly over the ankles, let's go ahead and scoot them just a tad bit closer to the chair. Those heels are just a tad bit closer. Because we really want to press through the heels. In regular chair, we have our weight in our hips and our heels. So now we can really practice that feeling of pushing through the heels and sending the hips back nice and safely supported by our chair. So we can start in heart center. Again, lift the chest, squeeze the belly button to the spine. And with those weight in the heels, we can wiggle the toes to make sure that that's how we're balancing. I want us to go ahead, slowly hinge the chest, just the chest. Keep that head from dipping. Nice neutral head. And you're going to feel how our booty lifts a little bit as we hinge forward, but we've still got weight right around where our hip joints are. We can hold here, really pushing through those heels, feeling the thighs of steel activate, or to simulate the more challenging variation of chair, we can do head between the biceps. Try and form a straight line from hip to fingertips. It's a little hard to imagine without a mirror, but once you get familiar, you'll kind of know what it'll feel like when your arms are in alignment with your body. Keep hovering those toes, squeeze those glutes, scoop that pelvis forward, big inhale, exhale. slow and control. Let's go ahead and turn to mountain. Lower those hands to heart center. Take a breath. Relax our hands into our mountain pose. Deep breaths here. Be sure all parts of our feet are pressed into the mat. My toes were hovering and I didn't realize it. Just take a breath. Thank yourselves for powering through the flow, trying something new, really focusing on your fine motor movements, those little bits of form that we sometimes forget. Big inhale, exhale. One last inhale and exhale to ourselves. Inhale up into full sun, and then sweep into forward fold, or just lower down, but really hold, let that head relax towards the mat, let our shoulders draw those little circles again. Maybe it's a little bit easier now that we're not fighting gravity. Into that seated position. Let's do it with those arms relaxed, the head dangling, and go one vertebrae at a time. Lumbar region, thoracic, shoulder blades, shoulders, neck, then head. I want us to go ahead, bring our hands to heart center, really make sure those elbows are wide, firmly press all 10 fingers together, really press the heels into the mat like we're going to do chair. Hinge forward just a tad, and I want us to rotate our torso towards the left side. If you can lower the chest a little bit deeper so that when you turn to the side, you can go ahead and rest that elbow on the outside of the thigh to hold that stretch through the latissimus dorsi, rectus abdominis, transverse abdominis, the obliques. But again, if we need a less intense stretch, we can always hover, twisting on our own without the help of using the arm to deepen the twist. Big inhale, and exhale. Come back to the center, set up tall again, reset, and then slowly hinge. However low we want to bring that chest, really push into the heels again, and now twist to the left. Open. Relaxing for our neck. Release back to the center. Tall again. Begin by relaxing the shoulders, deepen the sockets. We're going to go ahead, make sure the left arm is nice and relaxed, and we're going to place the right hand on the left side of the head. Apply some gentle pressure, lengthening the shoulder and the neck, the muscle that connects underneath our jaw and goes through the top of our shoulder. All the while still sitting tall, still planting those feet, scoop the pelvis forward. We're being mindful of the entirety of our 20 to 25 minute practice today. Go ahead, release, and switch sides. That free arm nice and relaxed. Following this stretch, that concludes our flow. You are more than welcome to exit out, go about your day, but if you'd like to join me in some Shavasana, I'll go ahead, give you an optional setup utilizing the chair. One more inhale and exhale. So we can go ahead and lay down on our mat if we like, but if you want to use the chair to prop our legs up, give that low back a little bit of a break. What we're going to do is line up with the chair so that the backs of our knees are resting right in the seat, and we'll lower down one vertebrae at a time. If you like, you can make a little bit of a pillow with your hands clasped behind your ears. But laying here with our knees up, we're also easing the hip flexors. We're allowing them to truly relax. And we're giving our lumbar spine a break too from supporting our body. We were sitting upright this entire time. And by bending and elevating the knees, we really take any pressure off of that low back. And we can stay here as long as we like. We're really looking to relax after our chair flow. Again, my name's Ashley. Be sure to check YouTube and Instagram for other videos and workouts to practice while we stay healthy and safe from the comfort of our home. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste.